too.
It's like totally really awesome chili.
You know what Lisa did? She brought home like a bunch of those frozen pasties from the Ren Fair from that truck, and like cooked them. It was amazing, and it was really funny. I was like making fun of the guys because they showed up and they're British and they have these, authentic English pasties, right?
You're fine.
It was delicious. It was delicious.
I was just being sad that I was like literally 1 second behind switching from the intro video to your guys' audio being live. 1 second after Jesse telling Angel, "You suck." I was like, in my mind, I was like, if the opening line for this stream could just be, "You suck," how awesome would that be?
Oh, see, you missed it.
So guys, it's Friday night. It means Pathfinder night. Hope everybody's having a good evening. So I'm going to reminisce one more time. Jesse has already experienced this, and he was not prepared. What the fuck was that?
What is that beep beep?
That sounded like a Skype call.
It does kind of sound like something weird.
I don't know, that was weird.
Came across everybody's audio, huh?
Yes.
I heard it.
I think the CIA's finally trying to listen in.
Yeah, maybe.
Joke's on them, it's being broadcast.
Right? go to Twitch, fuckers.
That's right. And while you're there, follow and like.
That's right.
Smash that subscribe button.
My fans know. No wonder it's so fucking warm in here. My fan's been off. So I'm gonna show you guys the error that I recently discovered, or the technical computer glitch, whatever you want to call it. So I have no idea when this happened. Could have been a month. Could have been several months. I just realized the other day that my audio software on my computer, Voice Meter, that I use to like adjust the quality, make sure that everything is like tweaked and tuned properly, all those settings got wiped and it was back to default. So I had no idea that my audio was going through without any modifications at all. I mean, just having the software running helps a tiny bit, but the overall general quality difference between just the regular Snowball microphone, which has pretty good quality, it's a decent microphone, and then with the adjustments, everybody's been hearing my voice in what comparatively is a disgusting and gross manner. This is what it sounds like right now with the settings returned back to where they're supposed to be.
Are we going to hear 12-year-old Counter-Strike? Is that where we're going here?
So this is where the quality setting was supposed to be. It's where we were when we first started playing Dungeons and Dragons, and I had everything tweaked. This is where I had it, as compared to this. This is how it sounds without the quality adjustments. Just
get me on speaker.
Just bear that in mind. Like, that's the audio quality difference from just literally, that is one setting within Voice Meter that makes that quality difference between here at absolutely no adjustments and where it's supposed to be here.
I like the old way better. I'm sorry.
So just bear that shit in mind. And then there's also, I could be a fucking robot if I wanted to. So, Robot Adam is in the fucking house. But no, we're not going to do that shit.
I like the old way better. Go back to the old setting. I'm used to it now.
No, not going to happen. Not going to happen. Anyway, enough of that shit. It's Friday. It's Pathfinder. How you guys doing?
It's also AC Origins release day.
It is, so I expect a lot of people will be elsewhere watching people play AC Origins, but that's okay. The people that come by to watch us play Dungeons and Dragons or Pathfinder, whatever the fuck, we appreciate them even more for being here, because we know that there are other places they could be and other games that they could be watching, and a lot of exciting stuff going on. So anybody that comes into our channel tonight, we love them extra. So there's that.
Right.
I may even Considering that fact, I may even dole out some extra gold to people so they can play with the NPC generators in my chat, because they're here instead of being somewhere else. So, that's what we're going to do. I would also like to take just a minute and throw out some love to somebody that's been continually subbed to me. And I'm not looking at you, Jesse, for your failure.
What?
This person has, when I'm not even streaming, like I was gone to TwitchCon for a week, and while I was gone, they just came by the channel and resubbed while we weren't even fucking doing anything. So Scorpion Fiend, if you're out there, thank you for the continual support. Jesse, thank you for your Jesse, thank you for your continual support as well, because you were not aware that your subscription had expired. So,
Right.
So I do appreciate it. I do appreciate it. Hey, I don't care if it comes from Amazon Prime. If he doesn't have to, I don't care if he doesn't pay shit for it. Amazon still pays out for that shit. So,
I need to figure that out online.
I just need to figure out how to freaking do it again.
You just go to the Twitch page. You just go to the Twitch page, and up at the top there's a subscribe button, and one of the options is subscribe with Twitch Prime. So as long as your Twitch is linked to your Amazon Prime account, subscribing to my channel is free and glorious, and we love you and appreciate you. So
Amazon Prime.
Who wants to recap us for where we left off last time? Because I don't fucking remember.
We just discovered that Boss Lady may be implicated, and actually one of the people with the ring.
That's right, you guys got that reveal. That's correct. I remember now. It's all coming back to me. Any other?
We didn't make a lot of headway, if I recall, on the other rings yet. Correct?
I don't believe that you did, unless somebody else remembers otherwise.
We did not.
Yeah, so you guys still have some researching to do on that regard, in that aspect. So, yes, you've just found out that your boss lady may be one of the perpetrators of this forthcoming attack on the city. So, what you guys choose to do with that information. Thanks, Jesse. Love you.
God. Jesse, you got a little something on your nose there. Just
Yeah. Well, I figure it's like this. If you find out all of a sudden that Amazon's been stealing $5 a month from you, and that you can apply that somewhere for free, you might as well go ahead and do that shit.
And it supports the channel to make it better eventually once I start actually getting paid by Twitch. So
Yeah.
No, I didn't even know about this. What was this settlement about, if you don't mind?
Basically all it is if you have Amazon Prime, included with that is the ability to subscribe to a Twitch, because they apparently own Twitch now. Or
They bought Twitch.
No, he's talking.
Right.
He's asking about the what settlement you're talking about, like the settlement that Amazon.
Oh,
that gave you $5.
The ebook scandal thing, I guess, where they had an antitrust
Okay.
for their ebooks.
So it's similar to Apple, like 7-8 years ago.
Yeah.
People fucked up. That's what happens.
God knows they owed me money because I am an ebook junkie. I'm bad about that. I got like 1,000 books on ebook.
So, continuing on.
Yes.
How are you guys going to utilize your newfound information, and what further research are you going to be doing? Angel, if I remember correctly, Celissa was in the process still of researching another fork of the details that you guys had found.
Correct.
So do you recall which fork it was that you were pursuing?
I think it was one It was the priestess that was uh, lost at childbirth, and her husband's the one that is potentially, well, her widow is the one that is potentially holding the ring.
Okay, that's right. So I couldn't remember if it was that one or if it was if you were researching the one where she thought Paylor gave her a cursed child.
No, but if I come across both information, that's
Looks
great.
like someone found a place to kick up their feet.
Right.
Roll a d6.
Dark Sentinel 117, thank you very much for that follow. Welcome to Ironwood Tavern. Hope you're having a great evening.
I'm thinking that we should go and tell Anu, and just let Anu like completely just, because you know how that shit would go if we told Anu, yeah, boss lady's implicated. It would just get hilarious. I think we need to call him in on Skype just for this moment.
Sounds a good idea.
All right,
Yeah.
just somebody. No worries, Dark Sentinel. Thanks for stopping by. I hope you have a great evening. Thanks again for dropping that follow and just coming to hang out with us for even a minute. Have a good night. Yeah, we should get Kyle on Discord just so you guys can be like, it's Boss Lady.
I'm telling you, Angel needs to experience the just absolute hilarity, which is Kyle whenever he tries to be a police officer.
That's right. Which for those of you who have not heard, Kyle will not be joining us again, probably, just because he has not been able to get his computer back up and running, and they have the kids on Friday nights, so him getting enough quiet time to even join us in audio form is exceedingly difficult. So he has stated that he will more than likely not be coming back to the table, which is the spot that the other streamer that was previously mentioned will be taking once we get to that point. She is also a streamer. She is not going to join us tonight. She just wasn't able to make it happen just because she's got a lot going on right now, back from TwitchCon and dealing with some other stuff, and just got done with like a 3.5-4 hour drive, so she needs some chill time. But they'll be joining us in future places, taking Kyle's space at the table. They'll be playing a druid, so you guys have that little tidbit of information. But if you guys would like to go find Anu the character, we can go through some situation with that, if you guys would like.
Yes.
I knew you were going to say that.
So, all right. So, Celissa, you're still doing your research. You're still pouring through books with your the assistant, who's, I can't remember what I told you her name was. So if you wrote that down,
I might have it written down.
Because I know I gave you a name for her. I just don't remember which one on this list of marked names it was. But regardless, you're hanging out with her, doing your research, combing through books. You're working your way towards each other in the timeline of notes and history and priestesses that have passed, things along those lines. You will be probably acquiring that information shortly. But in the meantime, so let's find out what... Yeah, you failed to flip the table. Okay. What is... Becky, Halavar, and Tim were all still together, is that correct?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You guys were all hanging out together? Okay. Tim, you get... A messenger walks up to you and lets you know that the priest... Or not the priest, the scholar... Yeah, is... He has some information for you possibly about the solar device, the system device. So he just basically letting you know that they've made some headway on it, and if you would like to discuss it with them, feel free to come by at any time. Make a What do we want to put that under? Make a knowledge arcana check. We'll go with that.
Oh, whoa. Oh man. I think that's the same. Yeah, 28.
Okay, so you're reading through this letter, this note that's been handed to you. It was in a sealed envelope that's been handed to you by the messenger. You read through it, and it basically says straight to the point. He has some information about you for you about the device that you had dropped off. Some details that you might find interesting from a scholarly point of view. And as you're reading through it, certain letters seem to have just a vaguely mystical glow. It's not something that you would pick up unless you were specifically reading through every word on the page. Just like certain letters occasionally have a tiny little glimmer. And as you're looking at it, it stands out to you as kind of an arcane code, telling you to come alone, come quickly.
Okay.
Dun dun da da da.
The messenger doesn't really wait for a response. He makes sure that you are who he thinks you are, hands you the letter, and then he just kind of turns around and leaves.
Where's Kylar?
Kylar has gone back to his house for now. He said that he's going to experiment with the ring some more. He needs to gather some stuff from his house, and then he's going to go outside the city limits for safety purposes and see what he can figure out about the ring. And he also needs to do some more reading on his book. He's trying to discern some things from that giant tome that he received.
Okay. I guess. Well, so let's see. I'm assuming that we're all kind of gonna break out here in just a moment. So I'll go ahead and share that there might be some information that Braden's acquired. So I'll go meet with him and catch back up with them after that. Okay. So I'll wait until you guys figure out where you guys are going next.
I'm going straight to tell Anu that the bitch boss lady is the.
Okay, so it's not that far of a trip for you. So Becky, are you going with Halavar?
Fuck yeah, I am.
Okay, so you
Time
guys.
for some vengeance.
You guys aren't gonna go confront her right away, are you?
Oh no.
Okay.
Well, actually, Anu might, but not us.
If Anu goes, we will follow.
So you guys get out to the cart.
Okay.
When you guys come out of your area where you've been kind of hanging out, talking about your plans, the things that you've discovered, you come out, and as you exit the building, your cart is there. Both of your horses are still tied up to it, Anu's and Halavar's horse. They're both still there. Anu, however, for the first time in ever that you've been leaving him in charge of the horses and the carriage, is not there. He is nowhere to be seen, and there is a town guard, standing next to your carriage.
Are we
As
double
you
parked?
guys,
Did Anu double
You guys
park our
parked in a
carriage?
no parking zone.
Oh god.
so
Are you in the fire lane?
as you
Oh
are
my god.
as you're walking, I mean, are you guys going to be walking towards the carriage? Or are you walking away from the carriage? How are you guys taking this information?
Wait, is this cop? Are we detecting either evil or chaos from this cop?
Nope.
So
He's standing there. He has his hand on his, like, resting on his weapon, and he's just looking around. He has not seen you as of yet.
but does he look like he's going to kill someone, or is he like a friendly neighborhood cop? Like we're double parked.
He looks like he is standing at attention, actively searching for someone. or someone's.
Fuck it, you probably saw Anu. Let's go.
All right, well, let's walk up on him.
Okay, so you guys are heading that general direction. Halavar and Becky both make a reflex save.
Mm,
20.
20, okay. Sorry guys, I got a bit of a cough tonight.
Oh, I got a sore throat.
It's my throat is still recovering from TwitchCon. It was very loud.
7.
Okay. You guys are walking towards this cop to go speak with him. It's town guard, but I mean that they kind of manage a lot of the duties around here. He's not like a local like police sheriff officer. He is a ranked member of the town guard that oversees kind of the local police. You can tell this from his armbands and his dress wear. As you're walking towards him, Halavar, your arm is grabbed and you are spun into an alley next to you. Becky, another hand reaches out to grab you and attempts to pull you into the alleyway, but you're able to like yank your arm away at the last minute before they pull you into the alley. But you turn in reaction to that in time to see Halavar just being yanked and spun into the shadows of this alley. And it's where the sun is currently, it's casting a pretty dark shadow on the alley actually, so there's a lot of ambient light, but just something about the shadows, it's making it hard to see where Halavar went.
Wait, so do I see who tried to grab me?
No, at the point where they could not grab you and pull you into the shadows, they themselves have retreated into the shadows. And it's an unnatural darkness in this alley. Like, it should be shady in this alleyway, but not this dark.
So I fucked up. I should have gotten kidnapped, so I would have been nearby Halavar.
But I mean, the alley entrance is literally right to your left. It is right next to you. And I should start running down that way. Gotta save Halavar.
Right.
We'll find Anu later. Actually, or wait a minute. Or do I want to abandon Halavar?
At your discretion. Make a perception check.
Let's see if I hear anything. There's like a shadow.
Yeah, like it's unnatural shadows, and just
Can
Okay.
I use sift? It says like I can see through an area, see an area through examining it.
Potentially, but on that perception check, you hear from the shadows, "Fuck, get in here!"
Do I detect any chaos?
Yes.
Fuck it. I'm gonna pull out my sword. Probably a mistake. I'm gonna run in there and chase after to save Halavar.
Okay. Halavar, you've been spun into this alleyway, pulled back down behind like a large trash receptacle, that basically the equivalent of a medieval dumpster. You noticed, like, as you were getting pulled into it, that it was unnaturally dark. You could not see anything inside this area. But now that you are inside of it, you can, like, the audio clarity is a little bit better. You can see just fine. Everything outside of the area is actually a little bit brighter than it should be. It has almost a halo around everything. And standing right next to you, pretty much over you, is Ren. And she's just kind of looking down at you. There's another guy standing in the alley kind of waiting, like looking at Becky standing outside these shadows as Becky pulls her sword and starts running into the shadows, weapon drawn, ready to attack whatever is hiding within these shadows. So Ren is standing next to you, not in a attacking manner. She's like, she's got worry in her face.
Okay. I go ahead and I turn back to the front of the alleyway and wait for him to charge through. He can't hurt me, just to make sure he doesn't accidentally stab. So I'll stand there and basically catch him as he comes in through the darkness.
All right. So Becky, as soon as you run into the shadow, after the figure that was trying to pull you in there, same thing happens. Like your vision kind of flips, and everything inside the shadow is clear, like you're in just a normal, slightly shadowed area, but everything outside of it is extremely bright. You see Halavar, you see Ren, and you see another kind of shady, roguey type figure just kind of standing in front of you. No weapons drawn, nothing along those lines. And you see Halavar standing there, just like looking at you like, what?
So wait. So there's a shadowy figure I cannot see.
No, you can see them now. They're shady, as in they're off, like a roguey type looking character, like stereotypical street rat. But you can see them just. I've never seen
this person before.
You don't recognize them, but you see Halavar sitting there, standing there, looking at you perfectly fine, and Ren next to him, like with just worry on her face. And the person in front of you isn't looking aggressive at all. He's just standing there.
Darn, because I really want to justify tackling this person and using confess on them.
I guess I turn back to Ren and I'm like, so I'm assuming she found out we know, huh?
No time. And with that, she yanks up your sleeve, pulls something out of her pocket, gives you like just a kind of a questioning look, like you've got 1 second to stop me.
So do I see her threaten Halavar?
It's not a threat. She's like waiting for permission, she's giving a pause. Literally, like she pulls up his sleeve, pulls out this metal, it almost looks like a weird branding iron from her pack.
That looks like she's threatening Halavar. I'm thinking
she's looking at Halavar like kind of waiting for approval.
I'm giving her the nod.
All right, and then she just presses it to your forearm. And
I'm gonna attack her. Seriously, can I attack her? You
feel like 1 second of searing pain, and then your arm feels fine. And then she lets you go.
All right.
As you see this, Becky, like she pushes it to his arm. This all happens within the time frame that you're getting ready to attack her. You see, like, sleeve gets pulled up. She looks at Halavar. Halavar gives her a nod. She presses it. Halavar winces for a split second, and then he's back to perfectly fine. And she lets him go. And then she looks over at you and just kind of snaps her fingers. Come on, no time. And she's like holding her hand out for your arm.
Can I still attack her? I'll know her.
If you'd like to try.
Yes, I'm going to try.
You can.
Okay. Fuck, what's my bad?
Can I roll a perception check to determine whether or not I can tell he's going to attack my girlfriend?
You don't need to roll a perception check. It's obvious. Like he has his weapon drawn already, and he is going towards her. She's going towards her.
I'm gonna step in between them. I'm like, what are you doing?
Now, where's my fucking bad at? Oh, it's 4. Oh, okay, here we go.
I think Becky's just gonna keep swinging.
Hello, humans and other species.
Like, miss.
What's up, Clumsy?
Come on, 21 solid.
That misses.
God damn it. Stupid big ass sword.
And what is your reflex save?
Should have went with the bow.
Well, you're lucky I didn't bring the bow.
I know we're lucky we didn't go with the bow.
Make a reflex save.
All right.
Clumsy.
Damn it.
Yeah. So
she is right.
No. There's a person in the chat, Clumsy Chemist. They're the person that I was telling you about. They're the person that I was telling you about. That's going to be joining our campaign. And she wrote, "I am very high." So as you make your attack, Halavar kind of moves to step in your path. You adjust. You get through what seems like it's going to be a solid slice, but Ren just easily steps back out of the way, uses your own momentum to slide your sleeve up as you go past, and stamps your arm.
Have I ever hit anything with this sword?
I don't think that you have.
I don't think you have.
Like, the only time I've ever done anything is when Kylar threw me, I somehow pulled it out and stabbed.
That's right. That is true. So in one swift move, she slides up your sleeve, stamps this thing on your arm. You feel, again, same thing as with Halavar, pretty much clumsy. You get one stamp of searing, 1 second of searing pain on your arm, and then you feel fine. What's up, Mumbles?
Fucking bitch. I'm gonna acknowledge the fact that I fucked up, and she's clearly better than me. But I'm not gonna like it. I'm gonna stop attacking her. Becky is now embarrassed.
She puts the device away. She says, "If you know what's good for you, put your sword away and follow me now."
I'll put my fucking sword away. God damn it.
And then she just heads off down the alley at like a half sprint, expecting you guys to follow her. She's not even looking back over her shoulder. But as she starts to move away, you notice that the shadow is kind of moving, like the decreased weird lighting is moving with her down the alley.
Sounds like we're going.
What did I roll again? 8? Fuck.
So you guys are following her. Celissa, you are doing research. You are just sitting there flipping through your books, going through the pages, looking for any information regarding this priestess that died. And you hear from a couple of aisles over, Celissa!
Yes, priestess.
I think I found what you're looking for.
Fabulous. I'll go and find her, apparently down the aisles.
All right, so you go over to her, and she's holding a rather large tome, and it's actually larger than the rest of the tomes. Most of the books that you guys have been going through from year to year, relatively the same average size. You know, average deaths for 1 year versus another year, not that big of a difference. The book she's holding, however, has roughly maybe 1.5 to 2 times as more information in it than any of the other books that you've been going through. Don't worry, clumsy. She's holding this book out, and she's just points to a page on the book. And she's like, I think this might be the one. She just holds the tome out for you to take.
Okay.
So you look through at the entry that she's pointing at, and it goes into talking about how there were a number of citizens within the town during this year that were stricken with an oddity where mothers and their children were dying in childbirth, the likes of which has not been averaged in quite some time. It talks that most notably, the highest case of importance was of one of the high priestesses of the Order of Pelor. This priestess was very well liked. Her husband was very well liked. Her first child was very well liked. And it basically kind of goes over the general information about this priestess and her family. Doesn't really call anything out specifically for names as you're starting to go through it, but it starts talking about how, she was a very well-respected high priestess. He was a very well-respected horse trainer, one of the best in town with one of the largest stables. And then it goes through and it lists her as High Priestess Rosabelle Haywood.
And does it list her husband's name?
It does. Rathcliffe Haywood.
Sounds pretty familiar.
Doesn't it though?
I
was gonna say, is there no reaction from the other people who are all familiar with these people with this last name?
Bum, 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 bum.
That was the dude whose daughter gave us the whole.
That was the
right?
noble guy back at the very
That's
beginning. Right?
literally who I'm running down an alleyway with.
Yeah, she's running. Yeah, Halavar is currently running with his daughter Ren down an alleyway right now.
You fucking horn dog! God damn it!
The funny part is,
She's part of it.
Kylar almost stole one of the rings at the very beginning of the campaign.
That's funny. Yeah,
Maybe he tried to
that
slip
is
his ring in the
hilarious.
handshake.
Yeah.
He tried to steal the ring off of
That's
Rathcliffe at the
irony.
very beginning of the campaign.
Fuck.
He eyed it. He's like that ring looks suspicious. I want it.
That's hilarious.
So yes. So you don't have any. Your character Celissa doesn't have any information to back behind that for the importance of it at this point. But you are 99% certain that this is the person that you're looking for.
Fabulous.
So
Taylor's intuition.
that's right. Tim, you get back to the library area, and as you're going through the secret tunnels that you guys, or not the secret tunnels, but the main kind of side tunnels that you would use if you were going straight down to the archives, you notice that a guard at a certain door will look at you, put his hand on his sword, make a little bit of a face, and then just act like he's preoccupied with something else. Another guard will see you coming and then just immediately turn his head and duck into a room. Like none of these guards are acknowledging your presence. Which strikes you as a little odd. Usually the guards in this area, they know you. They know who you are. And they will make small chat with you as you're going down these corridors on a regular basis. Exchange hellos, things along those lines. But today they are actively ignoring that you exist, is what it seems like to you. So are you doing anything with that information first and foremost?
How far in do I get before I notice the first time? The first one that I actually notice.
It's right
Doing
away.
that.
The very first guard, once you enter this kind of the archive hallways that will lead you straight down there without having to go through the rest of the temple proper. The very first guard inside, he looks at you and immediately gets preoccupied with something else and doesn't acknowledge that you're there.
I'm going to approach him.
He becomes more.
Do I actually
entrenched.
recognize him?
Yes, Henry is his name. You've spoken with him numerous times, and he has always been nothing but friendly with you.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna start small talk. How's his family? How's his beat going?
He becomes very, like, he's actively not looking at you, and he's like, "Yeah, good to see you, George. How are you doing today?" Like, and he kind of emphasizes George. Like you would say when you are trying to not say somebody else's name.
Mm-hmm.
He's just not
All
looking
right,
at you at all.
I'm gonna go ahead and take the hint and go ahead and just finish up pleasantries and be on my way. The nearest kind of like aisle or storage closet where there's nobody and no visibility or anything, I'm gonna go ahead and duck down.
Okay. Yeah, I mean you're familiar enough with the hallways. You know that they keep small cleaning supplies and Just wayward boxes of things that are no longer needed. A couple of, halfway up the hallway or so, you get avoided and actively dodged by a couple of other guards before you get to that point. Like, these are all people that know you and that you kind of have a mutual respect with, and you don't exist to them right now.
Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and duck down one of those aisles, and I guess before I actually do this, is there any kind of warding in the library from using magic and stuff like that?
No, it's actually pretty common that magic will get used with inside the walls. There's just rules about nothing destructive for protection of the books in the archives.
Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and cast invisibility on myself.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna cautiously continue just kind of walking down, kind of trying to take note of all of the soldiers and officers, and I'm probably going to try to look for ones that I don't recognize at all.
You see not a single one that you do not recognize and know by name. Every once in a while, it's very common for you to go down these hallways and see a new face every once in a while. But every guard in this hallway, you have known for years. Every single one of them.
Ominous.
How much farther down to where I would expect to meet Braden?
The door at the end of the hallway will take you straight into the archives proper, and if he's not in his office, he'll be behind the desk as usual. So, I mean, you can make it to you're invisible, so nobody's paying any attention to you at this point. Everybody might, like some of the guards might look around every once in a while, hearing the soft footfalls on the stone, but at not seeing anything, like they get a little uneasy and put their hands on their swords, but nobody's drawing any weapons. So, I mean, you make it down the hallway with relative ease, and you get to the door that would enter into the archives, which is currently closed. Not locked, it's never locked as far as you know, just because of the presence of guards.
Okay. Is that the only door to get in?
It is, and it does require you to press your signet, like a signet ring, your permission pass, basically. Your ring that designates you as one of the city guards with access to the archives. There's like a spot on the door where you would press your ring. It resonates a magic and unlocks the door for you, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. This has trap written all over it. So I'm gonna go ahead and
Do it. Don't be a pussy.
no, I'm gonna go ahead and go back out.
Tell you
the
what,
way I came.
honestly, I don't think it doesn't seem like a trap to me. It seems like
You're not there. You're not
Oh,
there.
he just said
No,
it
no meta.
feels.
Oh no, I
This is out of character talk.
no, I know. And so on the one hand, I hear what you're saying, but it seems like the guards are on my side, but at the same time, it's like,
what do you have to lose? What do you have to lose if you go in?
It's
What's
true.
the worst that could happen? You said it yourself. The guards are on your side. If you get scared,
But it also
What if that
feels
could happen?
right back
Never
out.
see him again.
and it also feels like the powers that be are really.
You know, you're too smart to believe in conspiracies. You're a man, Tim is a man of logic and reason. He realizes that there's no reason to fear this.
Yeah.
All right, so with that
It's up to Tim.
spiritual,
What would Tim do is the question.
That's right.
Tim would not fear this. Tim is a man of science.
that's true.
Tim
You're a
really
science
wants to
guy.
know what
What
this
it-
guy found out about his spinny device.
What it comes down to is how much does Tim trust Braden?
Wait.
And he has been a
Which-
mentor to you over the years.
That's true.
No, how are you? He's not even going to do it. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Do it.
All right. I'll go ahead and put my ring to the door to open it.
Boop, boop, boop. Like an
that
arcane
an
alarm starts to go off. You see the guard that is slightly down the hall from you. And he's one of the ones that his ears had kind of perked up when you're walking down the hallway. You hear him just go, fuck. And he runs over to the door. And he's just kind of like, he's not drawing a weapon or anything. He's bringing his hand up in kind of like a punching motion. And he's just like, move, 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 move.
Okay, and I'm gonna just slide against the wall, get out of his way.
And he touches his hand to the door, pulls it away. Well, that was sure weird. And walks back over to his post. And the door clicks unlocked.
But it's like, what do you do, Tim?
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and walk in.
So you walk in, door swings back shut behind you and latches. Braden, behind the counter, looks up at the sound of the door clicking shut. Seeing nothing, puts on his spectacles, and begins to flip through an array of different lenses. Looks kind of straight in your general direction for a second, closes his book, stands up, and goes into the office of the person where they put the globe in the first place. Rather than his office, he's going into the office of another scholar. And he walks past, he doesn't look at you again, he just walks straight into that office, stands by the door with, like, looking around the office like he's looking for something, but with his hand on the doorknob.
Yeah, I'm gonna follow him in, and as I pass him, I don't remember the guy's name, but whoever's office it is, I'm just gonna kind of, like, under my breath, so how'd he take it?
And he, I don't seem to see it in here. Shuts the door behind him, but stays in the room with you.
I'm gonna go ahead and drop invisibility at this point.
Good, you've made it. I did all that I could to make sure that the guards in the hallway were people that could be trusted for you. It was not an easy task. Something is awry. Your boss, she's put an arrest order for all of you.
All of us?
Rito? I'm Tim.
Yes, all of you, even your new compatriot.
You know, Becky thought Marvel really didn't like Solaris.
Oh, this is Becky's
What?
fault.
Solissa, I'm sorry. Solissa.
Well, whatever it is, she apparently has lost more love for you than she began with, which is, she didn't have a lot to start out with, as we all know. But yes, an arrest order has been placed for every single one of you, with orders of execution.
Oof. Wow.
For
Tim,
crimes
he's out to save Anu.
for crimes and conspiracy against the city,
Oh, God,
and
we
threats
gotta save
against
Anu.
and threats against the king.
The man has Anu. That's why there's that guy standing up with the cart. I think
Well, thank you for telling me.
Tim, they have Anu. You should be more upset.
What?
He doesn't know, and you aren't there to tell him. So he goes on to, like, he's got worry in his eyes. He knows that something's amiss, but at the same time, you can see that excitement in him that you've known over the years when he has something, like, he's worried, but he's got something else exciting to tell you at the same time, of a scholarly nature.
Let's go ahead and go with the. I'm gonna go ahead and recognize that in him. And
Okay.
look, there's nothing we can do about Marvel right now, unless you have a plan.
No plans. Just wanted to get you within somewhere of relative safety at this. I couldn't risk all of you coming down here. I could only get you down here safely. Your compatriots. I hope that they're safe. I've known you all for years, and I know that you are at least good people, if not all respectable in your own manners, but good, at least, and faithful to the city. I do not believe it for a moment the words that have been spoken out against you. But at least you are here safe, and I hope that your friends will be so as well. The device. It is factual. There are other planets out there. We have discovered things. Deep within the archives, the researchers have found notations of planets that once were, places that could be accessed through the teleportation circles. We know not why or when access to these other places in the world were lost, but it's as if they are just gone and we are abandoned here. But if you look closely, some of these things can still be seen in the night sky, so they're not gone, they're just broken or inaccessible. The device, it seems, if you power it with a crystal, it's a safe enough device. It simply makes the rings turn and shows you the order and how all of these planetary bodies circle around our sun. So it's not of any harm. It simply rotates and it shows there are glimmers when certain planets get close to each other, little crystals that seem to light as the planets near, and we think that this may be some sort of indication of when it's easiest or best to travel between the planets, but we're still looking for more information on exactly how that's possible. If there's anywhere else that I can take you that you think may be safer, then I can see if there's a way that we can get you there, but here was the safest place that I knew to get you for the time being.
How sure are you that this globe or model is really just a trinket and is good for research, but has no other purpose?
Oh, relatively sure. We've used methods to examine the gears, and there are no odd magics buried within it or anything along those lines. It's simply a device, it seems, for foretelling the movements of the stars and the planets.
All right. As he finishes saying that, I'm going to go ahead and just pull out the crystal and hand it over. If you can charge up this crystal, you should have a working model.
He gets giddy with excitement. He instantly pours some magic into it, and the device is still sitting on this other researcher's desk. It's as if the researcher hasn't been in this office for a while. And he grabs one of the rings, tilts the device up, flips open the pocket, puts the crystal in, flips the lid closed, and sets it down. And almost as soon as he lets it go, it starts just to kind of hum, like it's almost powering up, just kind of dialing up power, and then the rings just start to spin silently, but slowly. And it's just slowly moving. The planet's rotating. But almost, like you can tell that they're moving if you sit there and look at it long enough, but it's at an almost imperceptible rate. And he's just he's looking at it and he's, And he kind of looks around it a little bit more and he pokes and prods at it, looking for something that he seems to have been familiar with. He's like, there it is. And he finds like it looks like just a bolt that holds parts of it together. But he turns it, and the different rods and planets and stuff like that, the whole contraption speeds up. He says, yes, see there, it's you can calculate distances and times with it, I presume, by adjusting the dials based off of perhaps your location within the bodies. If you're on one of these other planets, maybe it's, the outer ones seem to move slowly regardless, so maybe you would adjust it for whichever planet you're on. If this is all actual, which it seems to be, then maybe this is so that you can dial it more acutely to your current location to find out where and when you need to be. But yes, it's a harmless enough device, but it does foretell, and the research does lead, that there are other planets out there.
Interesting.
But
Sorry, this is a little bit much to take in, considering the dilemma with...
But yes, oh yes, sorry, not to take away from the seriousness of your situation, is there an area or somewhere safe that we can attempt to pass you to?
I'm trying to think. I mean, considering there's a warrant out and the only officers I can trust are here, I can only imagine that my apartment is being watched or is being raided. I can only imagine everyone else's apartments and anywhere we would go is also being watched. No, I think I'll stay here for a little while.
Oh, very well. Dormand hasn't been here for some time, and I don't know if he's coming back shortly. He's perhaps on a trip to the capital that I've forgotten about. I don't know. It is possible he will return shortly, but we can approach that if the time comes. We've taken steps to ensure that none of the officers here will report that you've come, as the guard is watching for you, but the guards that are here are more loyal to me and more loyal to you, and none of us believe it. So you should be safe here for a time.
Are we able to get any eyes out on the streets to try to look for the rest of my team?
I can send a messenger, perhaps, to see if they can locate someone.
Well, Halavar and Becky were going to be searching around the city, so I don't think we should try to track them down. Kylar is, well, if you know Kylar, he's not going to be very easy to track either. So the new priestess that came with us, she's staying at the temple. Maybe we can get a message to her.
Yes, and post haste if she is at the temple. That is dire for her circumstances.
I'm literally upstairs in the library. Several stairs.
Well,
Several-
but you're also
several
farther
flights.
up where I don't think I can go, right? Not
Yes.
just like in the library, but
Yeah, she's
no.
like, what was it, like 16 stories up?
Yeah.
Yeah, so she's up quite a ways within the temple and in a different tower as well.
But we're in the same building.
that
Yes.
helps.
Says, yes, I'll send the same messenger that I sent for you, and hopefully he can reach her before anything becomes of her. So stay here for a moment. I'll see if she can be collected safely. And he leaves. Celissa, you're hanging out. You found this information. The lady, confident that this is what you were looking for, starts basically just putting the books back on the shelf. You hear from one of the windows nearby that's kind of letting fresh air into this tower area where you are. You're hearing a growing commotion outside. Just a large amount of just voices, more than you usually hear, and it's enough voices that it's carrying up 16 stories and in through a stone window.
I'll step over to the window to see what's going on.
There is a large crowd gathering below. A lot of them seem very angry with whatever's going on. You can tell that there's a line of guards in front of them, holding them back, keeping them from advancing, with a show of force more than anything else. Behind that row of guards is another ring of guards at the gallows, to which Anu is currently being led. It's hard to tell from up here, but you notice.
Damn it.
You can very distinctly tell that it is Anu being led up to the gallows. They, for now, are putting him in lock and stock. But there is a noose prepared. And most of the townsfolk are up in arms. Anu has always, while a very gruff police officer at times, she's always been polite to the general populace, as long as they're polite to her. She doesn't go after anybody that doesn't deserve it. And the town seems to know this. They seem to be at odds with what's happening, whereas a lot of times you get a town mob that's excited for an execution. A lot of these people are very displeased. You can tell that there are some that are like, yeah, hang him, but for the most part, people are not happy. Halavar and Becky.
Hold on.
Oh, go ahead.
Since I haven't, personally met, my character has met Anu while we were on travels. You keep saying he or she. Is it a he or a she?
It's a she. It's a she.
Played
Sorry,
by
I keep forgetting. It's another Becky situation.
Got it. Okay. I can handle that now.
But yeah, it's another she.
Okay.
She's put in the stocks for now. But there is definitely a noose that is prepared and seemingly waiting. Halavar and Becky, you are being led through a series of interconnected alleys.
Very towards Anu.
At points, you're running full out to dart across the street. At points, you're moving very, very slowly past windows and areas with lots of spectators. She eventually leads you to an area in one of the business districts and leads you down a stairwell. There's a door there that's open to what seems like just a cupboard for a business that's upstairs. And she promptly walks over, closes that door, and motions for you to raise your arms up. Like, she lifts up her pant leg, and on her lower calf, there's a tattoo.
Halavar, you seeing this?
That she lifts up. She lifts up. Somehow, Halavar, you've not noticed this tattoo before. Either she's covered it up magically, or you've been too preoccupied with other things at the time. But she lifts up her pant leg, and now you see it there. There's a tattoo. The tattoo matches the brands that are on both of your arms. And she basically just shows it towards this blank wall space. The wall begins to shimmer. She gives you a nod, steps through, and the shimmer immediately goes away.
I guess I'll put my arm near the same spot where she had it.
The wall again begins to kind of shimmer, as if it's not quite there.
Okay. I'll step through after her.
All right, Becky, what are you doing?
So I'm now alone, right?
No, there's the other shady character, and he's kind of like keeping an eye on the stairwell.
I wanted to tackle him earlier, but I feel goddamn, I can't. I'll put my arm to it and then follow Halavar.
Okay. On hearing that, he kind of steps slowly backwards from the stairwell, does the same thing, like shows his upper arm, and he follows in behind you. He's like, if you turn around to watch him coming in, He's like hands on his daggers, but backing through the secret walkway, looking the direction that he's coming from, with his hands on his daggers until the wall solidifies again, and then he eases off. He just turns around and gives both of you a nod. Looks at Ren for a second. She gives him a nod in return, and then he wanders off into another part of the area that you guys now find yourselves. Ren looks at you both. Welcome to the Thieves Guild.
Appreciate the rescue. I assume that is it Murgle? Is that right?
Margle.
Martle. Like, I assume Martle found out that we found out.
Whatever you found out, she is not happy with it.
Yeah.
Arrest warrants have been issued for all of you, with executions forthcoming.
Can I ask about
I'm afraid they have your friend. We will make efforts to rescue her, but she's currently in the stocks. So it will be a task, but we'll do what we can. But we can't risk all of you being out in the street if you have any chance of surviving and getting to the bottom of this.
Is there any chance that Celissa has been found, brought to safety yet?
We've not seen her.
The last that I knew,
nor your scholarly
she was
friend.
on. And the last I knew, Celissa would have been on the 16th floor of the archive. I tell her what it is. It's the
the
Temple,
Priestess
yeah.
Archives. Yeah.
the Priestess Archive. She would still be there and study.
Well, a dire and troublesome situation. The temple is heavily guarded. And what of your scholarly friend? His name is Tim, I believe?
He recently, just right before you arrived, received a letter telling him to come and visit his old mentor about some information about a device we had found, and he seemed to find it very important to go right at that moment.
She perks up and looks a little bit agitated. What is the name of this mentor?
I believe it started with Braden?
Yeah, you remember it as Braden, that's right. And she relaxes a little bit. Okay. Then he should be okay. As long as he makes it there safely, Braden will care for him. He's an honorable man. And from what we understand, he is Tim's mentor for a while. So, as long as he can reach Braden safely, he should be okay. We'll send someone to collect him and bring him here if possible.
What of Kylar?
Kylar is within.
Good.
He is speaking with our guild master.
I think it might be time for us to do the same.
I believe so as well.
I kind of reach out and give her arm a little rub and nod and say thank you for this.
Something is drastically afoot, enough that our guild leader sought fit enough to let me use this to bring you here, and this is for emergencies only of the most precarious kind. And she turns and starts walking deep into the dungeon. And this building is, I mean, you guys heard me describe it to Kylar before, but it's like
right.
No building that you are familiar with in the entirety of the city. You see windows, but out these windows are things that are impossible for things within the city to see. Parts of nature, and out a different window is a different part of the town, and out another window still is just a street next to a hostel. Just different areas inside and outside of the city, or just different scenes that have been placed there for comfort. You can't quite tell. She leads you through some winding corridors and takes you back into a room where Kylar is presently speaking with the guild leader, whose name I believe was Genril, maybe? I didn't write down which one it was. But she leads you in, and Kylar is just kind of sitting there, spinning the ring. You notice the ring because you guys are all familiar with it, but he's just kind of spinning it in his hand, like kind of cupped, spinning the ring with one fingers, but hiding, like 2 fingers, but hiding it with his other hand. The guild leader, upon seeing you enter, just kind of looks both of you. Welcome.
I give him a nod and say, "Thank you for this."
I have some indication of what you guys have been working towards and working against, and he kind of glances over at Kylar. And I knew the situation was interesting, but I did not know that it was dangerous until we caught word that you had all been ordered for arrest and execution. Something like about that struck me as, well, odd. It's not every day that your boss tries to have you murdered, especially when you're working on a quest that she sanctioned nonetheless, even begrudgingly so. Her name was on the forms allowing you guys to do this. The missions that you've undergone, the quests that you've taken, she's allowed you to do so. I have copies of these documents. The new copies show that your missions were rejected, and that you did them anyway. Black marks on all of your records. Seems a bit contradictory, if you ask me.
Indeed. So, I'm gonna look over at Kylar and say, Have you heard that the Myrtle? How do I want to phrase this? I'm not sure what you guys know at this point, but as you know, the last time we had talked, we were going to go and investigate these leads that we had. The one that I followed up on, the divorcee that moved away, turned out it was Myrtle. So she's a ring holder.
Kylar just seems to be taking it all in. I'm not gonna attempt to speak for his character, but he's just kind of at this point taking it all in, and you can tell he's mostly concerned with keeping like the ring that he has protected. He seems out of sorts. He lets you know that he was not here. He was elsewhere doing his own thing when he was likewise rushed here. His tattoo, you can see it underneath his clothing. His tattoo, he wasn't branded. His tattoo was just kind of magically returned. So he's got his tattoo back. You guys are familiar with the fact that he had it when you all first got together, because he had to have it removed to join the guard.
Okay.
He had to disavow the guild, but his tattoo is back, and at this point he's just kind of taking everything in. He takes the information that you give him, and we'll let him process that when he's on again. But yeah, he's not much for words at the moment. He seems to be heavy in contemplation.
Such a
Well,
generous host.
as I was explaining to Ren, Tim would be with Brayden. We saw him take off after receiving a letter from him, so hopefully he's fine. But Celissa was actively investigating another 2 leads, and she's very capable. So I'm curious whether or not she found anything else out. We know where the location of 2 of the rings are. If she can discover the location of 1 or 2 more, we may have a situation. Because if I recall, didn't Kylar, you tell us that within a certain proximity, these things will blow up?
It was actually Celissa that had read that information out to you, but yeah, he just kind of nods. Yeah, if I remember right from what Celissa told us, then yeah, things could be escalating quickly.
All right. So, if I know Margle, she's probably walking around with that ring on her.
Roll a wisdom check.
I don't know that we know Marvel very well. Just saying.
Well, that's probably true.
You may be observant though.
Should we not be
This may
concerned?
be my role to determine whether or not I ever recognized or remember seeing a ring on her hand, and all the time she was flipping me off with it.
That's right. That's what I'm basing it off of too. Is her just like giving you guys the bird, shooing you out of her office, things like
If
that.
I could figure it. 2.
Ooh,
Yes.
on those.
Yep. Nope.
Ouch.
You do not recall her ever wearing a ring.
Okay.
In the entire time that you've known her, she has not worn a ring.
Okay. Well, I'm pretty confident at this point that she's got it, but I don't know where she would be keeping it. But being that there need to be in at least the radius that she said that they needed to be in, it's very possible that these ring holders are somehow going to either get them all there to arrive at a certain time, that way that they blow up without killing themselves. But it's all set to happen during the celebration of the Shining, I would say.
Yes,
which is coming up when?
In about a week and a half.
Okay. So, at any rate, like we're just discussing all these details, filling in the guild leader and talking to him about it ourselves. So,
right. What's up, Fergie? What's up, Redstone? Thanks for stopping by tonight, guys. How's it going?
I still say we should go rescue Anu, and then maybe we should go to a different planet. Let everything blow up. They're trying to kill us.
You have no idea how to get to a different planet.
truth.
Sure, I'm sure
You guys don't actually even know for sure that the other planets exist at this point. It was just speculation off of stuff that you'd seen. Tim is the only one at this point that is certain.
I think this sounds like an excellent plan, and Tim should convince us all of it.
Why is the Chaos Hunter so chaotic?
Right.
There's a good question.
I've actually put a lot of thought about this on why it's lawful good.
So, what do you think the chances are that we can, under the cover of darkness, go and have some of the guild members and us sneak in and kidnap Oracle?
I'm actually debating, or maybe I should turn myself in, because I am lawful good. Should we all turn ourselves in if we're lawful good?
I serve the laws of my God, not men.
But maybe I could get up the gallows with Anu, and we could break out together.
So at your comment, Halavar, the guild leader just kind of gives a slow no. She has surrounded herself with guards. She is on the hunt for you, as it were. She is not in any one location. She is not easily obtained. And her guards that she has around her are well trained. She has even convinced her boss, the head of the guard, of her view of you. He is long held out, thinking that you guys were better for the city than not. He has kept her from firing you numerous times, from our understanding, but whatever it is that she's presented to him, he is now letting her have her way, and he has appointed guards to help her with it, the likes of which we dare not fight in open streets. Different preparations will have to be made, opportunities sought. Tim, you are hanging out in the office, just kind of with the door closed. Braden has gone back out to sit behind his desk and left you in your room in that office to try to, have your own thoughts and figure out what it is that you want to do while he waits for his messenger to return. Make a perception check. Redstone says, "Hi Tim, we have the same name, LOL."
Let me just make sure that that's right. Probably is. Yep. So 10.
10. Okay. You can hear a little bit of commotion from outside the office, but you're not quite sure what it is. You can't make out specific words or anything like this. You're kind of maybe focused a little bit inward right now, trying to figure out stuff is, and it's more a background noise to you right now than it is like something of importance. But you're suddenly your ears kind of perk up to the fact that there's stuff going on outside the confines of the office.
Are there any windows or anything to this office?
Yes, there's one big window, but it is currently darkened with some curtains.
Does it face out or into the library?
It faces into the library. It's like an internal office, but so that you can see kind of out into the archives.
And how bright is it in this office?
It is pretty dark right now. You're getting very small amounts of filtered light.
Okay, good. If there's a commotion that actually stirs me, then I'm going to go ahead and kind of peek in a corner of the window, trying to see what's going on out there.
Okay. So you look out the window and you see Braden behind his desk, and he's looking intently at the door. You catch him kind of glancing over very occasionally, like his eyes dart around to make sure that there's nobody near him, and then his eyes kind of dart over to the room that you're in, and he's just kind of sitting there quietly waiting, like with a book propped open, like he's reading it. The commotion doesn't seem to be immediately outside this room. It sounds like now that you're paying more attention, it's coming from the door that leads into the archives, the hallway that you came down previously. And there's, now that you're paying attention, it's terse words being exchanged. You can hear one voice demanding to be accessed to the archives. Another person that you recognize as one of the guards, telling him that he's not getting in, and how did he even get this far? And they're just kind of shouting back and forth, and the guy is threatening to arrest him unless he announces who he is and shows identification and the ability to be there, or the right to be there. And you hear your name at one point dropped into the conversation. You can't catch all of the context around it. And then you hear the guard return something along the lines of, "I don't know what you're talking about. Nobody's seen him here for days." And make another perception check.
Come on, RNG. Slightly better.
Okay. You can pick up that the guard is definitely trying to cover by saying that you're not here. And you can hear the other voice stating that he knows good and well you're here, and that he needs to be let in for your own safety. At which point, Braden gets up, walks over to the door, and just kind of pulls it open. Huge, portly guy. "What's all this commotion out here?" And the guy, you can kind of see a little bit of him past Braden. As a very skinny guy wearing somewhat dark clothes. And he looks Braden up and down. "You're Braden." "Yes?" "Let me see him. I'm to take him somewhere for safety." Braden just kind of eyes him for a moment. The guy pulls apart, and the guy kind of at that point just kind of very slightly turns away from the guards, pulls open part of his shirt very briefly. Braden just looks at the guards, gives them a nod, and steps out of the way. Closes the door behind him as he lets the guy in. He immediately walks over to the office that you're in, opens the door. A guy shuffles in, and then Braden closes the door and goes back behind the desk. So at this point, you can get a little bit more clear picture of the guy. He's a short guy with medium height guy with like short cut red hair. He's standing there, one hand kind of resting on a dagger, looking around this office, watching the planet spin on the device with a little bit of confusion. You are the one they call Tim, yes?
I am. I'm gonna. Can I see his hands? I know he's got one on his dagger.
One hand is on a dagger, the other hand is just kind of resting at his side. Just kind of looking around the room, almost suspiciously.
Is he wearing any rings?
No. Well, he's got like a little insignia ring on him. Nothing that seems magical or anything like that if you open.
Okay.
Detect magic.
I'm gonna just kind of be watching for those everywhere now.
Yeah, his dagger's got some magic on it. As well as a couple of other items on his person. But no rings of large... I mean, no large magics or anything like that.
Okay.
Well, I've been sent to collect you. I'll take you the safest routes that I can manage, but we'll have to be quick and we'll have to be quiet. Can you manage that?
Sent by who?
By your friends. By which I most certainly do not mean your boss. A name you may recognize, Ren, has concern for your safety. What's up, Redstone? Go ahead and ask, man. You can ask anything in here.
Well, if Braden trusts you, I suppose I can put my trust in you as well.
Okay, well, one more hour and then we'll depart. And he just kind of, hand still on his dagger, looks around the room one more time, drops down into a cross-legged squat with his back up against the door, and just staring at he's just watching the dome go around at this point. Just kind of fixated on that with his back to the door.
Okay. I'll sit back by the window and just kind of watch out for anybody else that might have followed him.
Okay. Redstone, everything that's said in most cases, there are modules out there for Dungeons and Dragons that are scripted out a little bit more. But for this campaign, it's all just kind of on the fly as we go, 75% BS, accounting for the current situation. So no, unfortunately, nothing for my campaign that I can give you to read as far as the story goes. It's more driven by the actions of the players and the party as we move along. So yeah, he just plops down for a while, back against the door. At one point, he notices you kind of looking at him with his hand on his dagger. He looks at you, like he sees you looking at him, and like gets a weird look on his face, like, why are you staring at me? And then glances down to his hand, just now realizing that he's been holding on to it, and just kind of lets his hand off of it and just rests it on his lap. Pretty much Redstone. Celissa, your attention is drawn from the crowd outside and Anu being placed in the stocks. You hear from behind you the doors opening into the archive room. Behind the counter, you hear, "What are you doing in here?" "We come with permission from the High Priestess. Where is the one they call Celissa?"
Ruh-roh.
Ominous, or like it sounds legit?
It sounds dangerous tone.
Too legit.
Like slight threat.
too legit to quit.
I've got lots of bookcases around me. I'm gonna go ahead and dodge and hide. Actually, wait. How big is the window that I'm at?
It's like a arrow slit style.
Oh, it's an arrow slit window.
It's more for air inlet than anything else.
That's okay. Is there other windows in the tower, in the room that we're in?
Yes, but they're all the same style. It's just to let a little bit of air and light into the room.
That's not cool.
So, but yeah, so you hear up from the front the guy demanding to know where you are. The old lady up front. Celissa? Celissa? Anybody in here named Celissa? I run this joint. You see anybody else in here? What do you want with her? Who is she? Do not toy with me, woman. We were told she was here. Bring her forward, or you will be arrested as an accomplice. And you don't hear a response. She's just kind of sitting there. Make a perception check.
Perception check, you said?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
All right.
I like that.
You catch from your hiding space back behind the bookshelves. You hear. Trying to figure the best way to describe or get this across. You hear just kind of you hear the old lady behind the counter kind of give a shocked like gasp, and then, oh my word, and then you hear the sound of two thuds against the floor. And then it's just kind of quiet.
Dang it, is the old lady okay? I'm such a good character. I'm gonna have to go check on her.
So you're gonna look out from behind your bookshelves.
I'm gonna I move a book if I can move a book to see.
Okay. You can shift a couple of books around to get a little bit of a vantage point, and you can still see the old lady sitting behind the desk, and she's just kind of sitting there. You can't see her face at all, just the back of her head, and she's just kind of shaking a little bit. You can tell that much. And then past her, you see one guy that definitely does not look like a guard. And one guy that looks kind of scholarly and somewhat official, and he's got just like this shocked, terrified look on his face, and he's like just now come into the room. And he's just standing there shocked. The other guy that definitely does not look like a guard, he's dressed in a myriad of dark leathers, things along those lines, a little bit of a hood. And he begins walking up towards the lady behind the counter.
There's not another exit out of this room that I know of.
There's not. You catch a tiny glint, and then we'll stick with your previous perception roll. You hear the sounds of weapons being put away as he approaches the counter.
Okay.
Hello, fair lady. I'm looking for a friend. Perhaps you can help me. I think this one's looking for her as well, as he looks over his shoulder at the scholar. They most certainly were. Sorry for the spectacle. Tell us where she is, and we'll be on our way safe and sound. I'll have to leave the mess, I do apologize. And she doesn't respond. She seems to just kind of be shocked in terror. Oh, come now, dearie. I'm not going to hurt you. Just point her out if you don't mind. I'm not going to harm her. Quite the opposite, actually. He doesn't seem to be making any sort of aggressive actions towards her. No aggression at all. He's just kind of standing there patiently waiting. The scholar by the door is still just as dumbstruck as
in shock.
Yeah, as the lady behind the counter. Well, if you're going to make me look, so be it. And he just kind of, you see him step out of your sight to the side of her, and then you hear the sound of like somebody leaping over a counter. Celissa, oh Celissa, I've come to gather you for your friends. Do be a dear and come out. I don't feel like hunting all day, and, well, time is of the essence.
I don't know if I trust this guy.
Yes, you do. Come on.
He just
Player,
off the
yes.
city guard, yeah.
However, character, no.
Okay, we gotta find a reason.
Have you looked out the window lately? There's quite a commotion, I'm betting you have. That's the result if you don't come with me.
Come with me if you want to live.
Basically. But
Come
in a
on,
much
give me a
more
reason, go there.
wilted tone.
Must save Anu.
Oh, Scholar
All right.
Boy. Scholar
Why
Boy.
are
Who
you
sent
looking
you,
for
Scholar?
me?
Oh, good, you are here. Some friends sent for you. I'm supposed to take you to the Thieves Guild.
Some friends in the
Yes.
Thieves Guild.
Well, quite. Well, they're my friends. I presumed them to be your friends, since they seem to want your safety. I'm a man of little cares, but, you know, I could just as easily have sent me to do to you what I did to those guards, but they did not. I'm here to protect, not to harm. Well, you,
Much
that is.
appreciated. Who?
And
Exactly.
he just kind of pops his head around the corner. Oh, hi, dearie. Do come along. Not much time.
Not much choice.
Oh, quite. Oh, I mean, I'm not going to force you to go, but if you don't, more guards will come, I'm sure.
Again, I ask what friends.
Ren perhaps is a name that you know? Kylar another?
I wasn't introduced to Ren. Was I? No,
not
because I was at the
properly.
bar, but I wasn't introduced to Ren.
Correct.
And not specifically. You've heard me mention her a couple of times as being romantically involved with her, but you've never actually met her, I don't think.
Correct. But you do know Kylar. Come along, dearie. I'm sure this scholarly boy has a note he would love to pass along to you on our way out.
All right, I'll hesitantly go with them.
He walks back towards the front of the counter, just hops over it with ease, and then just politely extends you a hand.
I'll walk around the counter the way I've been walking around the counter.
He just shrugs. As you begin to follow him out of the room, he just kind of walks over to the scholarly boy. Oh, come on now, don't be afraid. I'm not going to hurt you. What reason have I? Hand her your note and be on your way. The kid looks to her looks to the guy, looks to the people on the floor, the lady behind the counter. And if you look back at the lady behind the counter, she just kind of gives him a nod of just do it. So he kind of hands a note towards you around the guy. Doesn't say anything. He's just holding out a note for you.
one lifted eyebrow, I'll take the note.
And he turns and just bolts. He just runs away as fast as he possibly can. You hear footsteps retreating down the stairs. You can read that as we go, but quick we must be. Follow along.
Yep, I'm sticking with him, I guess.
So he begins to lead you down towards the stairs, and he's going down. As you're going down the stairs, you hear the sounds of several different levels of priestesses, like kind of hushed voices in their chambers or off in side rooms. As you pass one particular door, you see just like a slight bead of blood running out from underneath it, and he's just continuing to lead you down the stairs. You don't see any other guards as you make your way down. Are you going to be reading the note as you move along?
Yeah, although I would have stopped. The priestesses were hushed tones. Were they agitated hushed tones, or were they
slightly? You can tell that there's a hint of fear in their voices. Like they're staying in their rooms with their doors locked. No noises were coming from the door, but where you saw the trickle of blood.
I haven't been here long enough to know whose room that was.
Yeah,
I'll read the note and keep going.
The note is from a scholar in the archives named Braden. I forget if you went to the archives with everybody during that session. That's right, you were here in the temple. It's from a scholar named Braden, and he asks you to kindly come to the archives to review some documents for your order that might be of interest to you. And he's signed it Braden of the Archives, and then just in very, very tiny writing down at the bottom, there's a script that looks like it could possibly say Tim. But yeah, it's nothing specific, nothing that would give away the intent of why you should come to the archives, but Tim's name is definitely scrawled at the bottom in very tiny script.
Okay, I'll tuck that away. Where are you taking me, sir?
To the Thieves Guild, good dear.
Okay, can we stop at the archive?
Oh, whatever
Downstairs.
for.
Please?
Why? We do have to make time, I'm afraid. No time for
I'll
dallying.
make it as quick as possible.
We don't really have a good route to go that way without me having to kill several more guards. And I've done quite enough of that already to get you out of here.
Ooh. Those guards have families. I'm just saying, you should probably come to the Thieves Guild. Think about the family.
Give me a good enough reason, and we'll try to make our way there.
If you go to the archives.
But I'd really rather not go out of our way.
Actually, yes, do it. Orphan them. Go down the dark side. Join the dark side.
I knew this was going to take a Star Wars turn.
Yeah, he basically just told you that if you do need to go to the archives, he's probably going to have to kill more people.
Either way, this works for Becky.
Come on, out with your reason,
The
otherwise
archives
we
are-
must go.
I don't know how much trouble I'm in, still.
Oh, quite a bit, dearie. There's been an arrest warrant issued for you and orders of execution. If the guards find you, you'll be put to death. Hence why they're all lying here dead, tucked in nice little rooms, and you're not.
Okay, to the Thieves Guild.
Very well. I knew you'd see reason.
I could have killed so many people.
I don't know that you're in trouble too.
So
I don't know a lot right now.
he leads you down through the stairs all the way down to the bottom floor. As you get down to the very bottom floor, inside the room, Gerald is there, tied to a chair, just looking at you with a gag in his mouth. And he looks a little bit scared.
Wasn't he the nice guy that helped us out earlier?
The nice and very timid guy, yes. And he is tied to a chair with a gag in his mouth. Just kind of like he's kind of cowering a little bit and just a little bit extra timid in his demeanor, the way that he's presenting himself. And at seeing you come around the corner and seeing the guy that's leading you along, he just kind of makes himself that little bit smaller, and you can tell that he's got practice at that. He's very good at making himself small. He doesn't acknowledge that you're there. He just kind of like shrinks away from you altogether. And as you're walking towards the door where he is, the guy that's leading you along walks over, places a hand on Gerald's shoulder. Worry not, boy. You've done nothing worth dying for. They'll find you soon enough, I'm sure. You'll be just fine. Tell them I did it. They'll believe you. And just continues on going around the staircase rather than out the main door. Takes you over to a section of the wall that is very thick stones. You know how thick the walls are in this part of the temple. He pulls something out of his pocket, touches it against the wall in 3 spots. Well, that's about right. Puts it away. Lifts up his shirt sleeve, presses a tattoo against the wall, and the wall kind of dissolves. And it's just shimmering light. He says, through you go.
Okay, I've stepped this far on faith so far. Walk through.
That a girl, and you hear him follow in behind you, and then you just hear a as the door or portal or whatever it is that was behind you closes. And then you are in a massive room with tall columns and windows that seem to point at different places and directions, impossibly. Well, here we are, the Thieves Guild. Come along, I'll take you to your friends. And as you guys are walking through the Thieves Guild, you see other guild members kind of like back out of the way and make room for him. And he just leads you through these corridors, and he takes you to a room wherein you find Halavar, Becky, and Kylar sitting around a desk with a gentleman.
What's up?
So, you have arrest warrants too, I'm guessing.
I'm trying to save Anu.
Well, I would have tried, but I kind of was rushed away. He's in the stocks right now. She's in the stocks right now.
Where's Jesse at?
I do not know.
I feel like Jesse, like Halavar will support me on a desperate mission to save Anu.
So why are we what's the arrest records for? Like, I haven't even been in town long enough to cause trouble yet.
They're associated with us, unfortunately. They saw
Guilty
you
by
coming.
association? Is that what
Yeah. Well, look, they're going to kill an innocent dwarf. That's all that really matters. The law is clearly corrupt. We must prevent the law from making a mistake.
Okay, what's the arrest for? I get mine. Guilty by association. I
don't know.
sort of get mine.
Becky hasn't read it yet. Becky's just concerned with rescuing Anu.
So Celissa, or Halavar Celissa, has just been brought to the room by a very confident-looking human man. And as he led her into the room, he just kind of looks around and gives you all a wink before turning to walk away.
All right.
Tim, you've been sitting in your room for nearly an hour. Guy that's in the room with you, he just kind of looks up. He's been staring at the globe for a while. Well, that should just about do it, I think. Best be on our way. Come on.
Okay.
He just stands up, pops his back, pokes his head out the door. Wait a minute. Walks out, walks over to Braden. You hear him kind of whispering in hushed tones for a moment. He walks back over and stands by the door waiting for you. Braden gets up behind his desk, maneuvers his way over to the big door outside, touches his ring to it. The latch clicks. He opens the door and looks outside. Guys, I just got word. They saw Tim in the lower quarter. You should best go offer some assistance. And you hear the guards just kind of all shuffle their feet for a second. And Braden says, "Now, perchance." And they all just kind of, you hear him pattering off down the hallway. After a moment, the sound stops. The guy opens the door. Come on, nearest way in is not far. And he just starts walking away.
I'll follow him.
Alright, he leads you out into the hallway. Not a
Braden on
guard.
the shoulder as we walk out. Nod of thanks.
Be safe, my boy. Be safe. Door closes behind you. Well, and he kind of jogs in place for a second. It's getting dark out, but we're gonna have to make a run for it. Need to limber up first?
Limber up.
Yeah, stretch it out a little bit. Get your legs
Stretch.
ready. Yeah. You do know what those things are, right? We gotta run. Have you run before?
I've heard of it, but I've never actually studied running.
God.
Well, you know how you walk one foot in front of the other? You're gonna have to do that, but a lot faster.
Can I read?
Probably best not to.
I need a wheelchair for him.
All right.
Just move your legs around a little bit, get some blood flowing. And then we're gonna move our legs. We're gonna move our legs as fast as we can down this corridor. Out the door, which hopefully has no guards on the other side that aren't trustworthy. And then we're gonna run like hell. Sure, you've heard the expression before, scholarly fellow. You're about to find out just what that means.
Do you have any spells you want to prepare?
If you see any guards that were not in this hallway before, move your legs faster. Try to keep up, and do not lose sight of me. Ready?
I'll do my best.
All right. Here we go. And he takes off running down the hallway.
Tim better have to roll dice, goddammit.
Make a dexterity check.
Saving. I was gonna say, tripping on your robe.
How much endurance does Tim have?
All right. You don't fall on your face.
All right.
All right. So you're taking off running after this guy, I presume?
Yes.
All right. So he's booking it. I mean, he's obviously faster than you. He's slowing his pace just a tiny bit so that you can keep up, but you can tell he's holding it back a little bit. He gets to the door. Just very, like you could tell his actions are rushed. Turns the handle, pops it open just an inch. Peeks out while he's waiting for you to catch up a little bit more. And as you get closer, he throws the door open so hard that it bounces against the back wall. and just takes off running. It hits the wall with such a hard bounce that just as you pass through the door, the recoil of it makes it come back and latch shut behind you. And he is just in a flat run. It's dark out. There's a little bit of starlight, a little bit of moonlight, so you can keep your eye on him. But he's running through crowds of people, but it seems like they're just normal citizens. You don't see any guards at this point. Make a perception check. Okay. You saw that he was heading in a straight line towards an alley. It looked like across the gardens and then across the street, but you no longer actually see him. But the last direction that you saw was towards the alley.
I'm gonna try casting Detect Magic.
Okay. You see a lot of things in this area. It instantly brings your attention to several guards to your right, several guards off back and to your left, a couple of mundane items that citizens are carrying around, like smaller, lesser magical items, most likely cosmetic in nature. And then you, in the alleyway across the street, you do see 4 or 5 very distinct items that look familiar in their shape to you.
Okay, I'll just head straight for that alley then.
Okay. You make your way to the alley head. Over your shoulder, you hear a very distinctive and sharp barking halt. Coming. It sounds very audibly like it's directed at you.
I'm gonna just ignore and pretend that I didn't even hear it or recognize it.
Okay, and you're hearing a commotion pick up behind you. You make it to the head of the alley, and you are immediately grabbed and spun into a wall. Fuck. Alright, well, new plan. Run faster. and he takes off down the alley.
Same as the old plan.
No. We were running fast before, now we're running faster.
All right.
Straight, left, right. Repeat it.
Straight, left, right.
Perfect. Let's go. And he takes off.
Such a generous host.
Faster, remember, faster.
Miss Ginger Ninja. Guys, we just got hosted for up to 22 viewers. Ginger Ninja with the massive host there. Thanks. How was your stream? Welcome everybody to Ironwood Tavern. We're playing some Pathfinder. Our players are in a bit of peril and they're all gradually getting themselves to safety. Currently, we're working on getting Tim there. Oh, not just a host, but a raid. Love you guys. Thank you for coming by. Home Pathfinder. And occasionally some Divinity Original Sin 2. So yeah, Tim, this guy is hauling ass. He's taken off down an alley. You see him go down. You guys get out of this alley. You're keeping up with him for the most part. He's kind of measuring his pace, but like waiting and making sure that you're catching up to him in some regard at least. Passes through the alley that you guys are in, passes across the street into that alley, and then you see him dodge left. Make a reflex save, or a dexterity check.
Dex.
All right. You're getting the rhythm of this now. For the first time in a long time, Tim's heart is pumping. The blood is flowing. You're getting into the rhythm of it, and you're getting an understanding of how this running thing works. You actually start to gain on him a little bit as you come out of the end of that second alley and take the left. You're closer to him than you realized, and you're following pretty safe behind him. That was a good enough check that I'm going to give you that you're sticking pretty close behind him. You follow this path that he had told you before of just alleys in coordination and synced. As you get into the last alley, he seems to pick up a little bit of burst of extra speed. He runs forward, slams his arm against a wall, and as you come around the corner, he just grabs you by the scruff of your shirt, spins you, and throws you into the straight at the wall. Make an Arcana check.
It's a good thing you were running faster into the wall.
35. Okay. You recognize it as you're headed straight first at this wall. It is brick. It is solid brick. And right before you're about to hit the wall, you see a shimmer that you recognize as being a secret passage, and you think to yourself, "Oh, thank fucking God!" And as you go flying through the passageway of the wall, and land in a skidding halt on the stone floors of the Thieves Guild. And he comes just tumbling into the wall behind you. As you hear the of the door and the magic ceiling shut behind you. You did it! Hey, you didn't die. Good job.
You did the running thing.
Left, right, straight. And he just walks away from you.
Go in a circle, then turn around and go straight.
Hallways. He just calls over his shoulder. Hallways. You'll understand as you go. It's bigger than it seems. And then at that point, he just walks away from you.
All right. Is there anybody else in this room?
Several people, and they're all just kind of like looking at you like, what the hell? As you're still just kind of laying there on your back, staring up at the ceiling.
That running stuff.
Still trying to get your breath.
Yeah.
And they all just kind of like nod at you and go back to playing cards. Like, all right.
Does anybody know where left, right, straight takes me?
The guild master?
Okay.
And basically it is a giant circle. Like, you go out of this room and it turns like in an outward spiral of hallways until you get to a place where you can start taking the other directions, and it leads you through back to an office. As you approach the last hallway area that he described to you, you see Ren just kind of propped against a wall outside of an office, just kind of like waiting, and one ear kind of tuned towards the door.
And that's the door that I'm headed toward?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go knock on the door.
It's wide open.
Oh, okay.
Inside is Celissa, Halavar, Becky, and Kylar, all just sitting there. No sign of Anu.
Hey guys, did you hear?
You guys say Anu.
For the 15th time, Becky, preparations are being made to secure your friend. If you don't want her to die, just have some patience. We've gotten you all here.
Can I suggest someone feed Becky? Just
Becky gets hangry.
at this point, it only gets worse.
That's right.
Do you have any pastries?
You might still have a couple of pastries stuffed into your pouch.
I want their pastries.
I'll make a roll.
Roll a d6.
High or low?
Let's go high.
There are pastries still in your pouch. They aren't all in the carriage.
Yeah.
And besides, the ones in the carriage, those guards probably ate.
This is true. It's accurate. It's a good point. So at this point, like you are pretty much right on the heels of Celissa getting brought into the room. As you're walking away, actually, you see the man that was dressed in the mixed leathers walking away from the room. So Celissa had just gotten here. Kylar's been here for quite a while. Halavar and Becky got here maybe 20 minutes before Celissa.
Alright, so is Tim finally in the room then?
Yeah. So everybody is
All right.
present.
At this point, we probably ought to talk back over what we all know.
I know I need to take a seat.
Yeah.
Why?
You need a glass of water.
Yeah.
A guy walks up behind you and just kind of pushes a chair into your legs.
Dude, these guys are awesome.
Thank you.
Make sure you tip it well, Reno.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys want to share the knowledge that you have and figure out what your guys' next move is going to be, go for it.
Alright, I'll go ahead and we'll go ahead and I'll start on this. And then, Celissa, hopefully you found some other information too. But I would assume that the reason why we're all trying to be captured and executed is because the lead that I followed led back to our boss, the head of the city investigation unit, as one of the ring holders. And somehow she found out that we found out and has now falsified.
You told her.
You
didn't
a move
not-
of absolute brilliance. I may have informed her that I was going to.
No, when you guys all got back to town, you let on that you had met and defeated Knoll and collected information.
That would make sense. So, at any rate, at this point, our good friend here, the head of the Thieves Guild, has informed us that all of the paperwork has been falsified, showing that instead of approving all of our investigations over the course of the past however long, it now says that they were all denied and we went rogue.
Yep, and I can confirm that she's convinced the higher ups as well. We do still potentially have friends in the guard, but we have to pick those friends carefully.
Celissa, did you have any luck with your sources?
Who's the head of the Thieves Guild?
That would be these.
Of course you would.
This fine gentleman sitting behind the nice desk in the very fancy chair.
And since Paul's the one that wrote down the name that I told him, I'm going to go currently with General, because that's
Rhymes with the general.
yeah, sure. So General, until Paul comes in next time and corrects us, is the head of the Thieves Guild.
Okay.
He stands up and offers a hand to shake.
Many thanks for getting us out of
Death.
death. Death would be the proper word here. Yeah.
Most of your thanks should probably go to Kylar. It's my wayward loyalty to him is what brought you all here, and the things that he's told me. He forewarned slightly of the potential threat to the city, and I dismissed it. But the recent turn of events has led me to take him a little bit more seriously in what he's told me.
Well, my thanks still.
And
I'll
so
thank
again,
Tyler too, but
So again, bear in mind as you're moving forward for your character, Celissa, you don't know, because you've never met her in person, that the lady resting outside the door is Ren.
yeah, I don't know that that's her. Do I know from Halavar's bragging what Ren's last name is?
Probably not. He probably usually just refers to her as Ren.
Okay,
Most
and
of the time,
was
I would
Ren
imagine.
mentioned? Was Ren mentioned in the books, or was it just the daughter of?
Daughter of.
Okay,
Child
so I don't
of.
actually know that it's Ren either.
Correct.
I just have the family name, and I'm about to blow that secret right out of the water.
Go for it. Present your case.
So let me pull up my notes again. What was it? Rathcliffe is, Rathcliffe Haywood. He's the gentleman that I think we're looking for.
And you hear a commotion of footsteps sliding in from behind the door. Rathcliffe? Rathcliffe? And you turn around, and the woman that was standing outside the door is just kind of looking between you and her boss. She gives like kind of a sideways glance to Halavar. What about Rathcliffe? She's just staring you dead in the eye.
It's an interesting individual who came under investigation recently.
Investigation in relation to what's going on currently?
Perhaps.
Are you saying that he's involved?
I'm looking to the rest of my party members like, I don't know this person. Anybody
So,
wanna...
Celissa, have you by chance met Ren Haywood?
No.
No? Okay.
No.
Ren,
Nice
this
to
is Celissa.
Meet
Celissa,
you,
this
Miss
is Ren.
Haywood.
And she just stares at you for a couple more seconds. She looks up at General. Can I kill him now?
Wait, why do you want to kill him?
And so, I forget who made the associations the first time you were in their house. But I'm pretty sure Halavar, Kylar, and Tim at a minimum rolled high enough to notice it, I believe, that Ren bears almost zero resemblance to Rathcliffe. She looked a lot like her mother, who had no elven features, and Ren has some slightly elven features. Rathcliffe is a human. So bear that in mind for those of you who were there when you actually went through their house and saw the paintings and pictures of their family when they were still younger. Well, for one, he's an abusive wretch on society. He's a terrible fake father. Tries to raise me as his own, but in his own malicious, abusive, twisted way. He's always known that I'm not his daughter, and he's used it against me my entire life. Why do you think I'm here? Noble upbringing, and I hang out with the lot and like of these, because they're more my kin than my actual family. And now you tell me that he's a part of a plot to blow up the city? I don't even think so. I've been waiting for permission to kill this asshole for years. And General just kind of looks up at her, gives her kind of a little bit of a stink eye, and nods his head towards the door. She just kind of collects herself, turns back around, walks outside, and very noisily props herself back up against the wall.
Awkward.
And General just kind of goes back. General just goes back to seeing what you guys are, like what other information you guys have to share, and if there's anything that you need from him other than him getting you here safe, and the fact that they're working on getting Anu safe. I don't know enough about your situation or what it is that you're looking for to be much help past this at this point, but we can get you in and out of the Thieves Guild through various points in town. We'll have to brand the rest of you. if you want to come and go as you please. And I'll make exception and do so for those of you who are willing to take it. But I can't really help you until I get more of a direction. And I'm afraid that that's up to the lot of you.
I'm curious as to why you're still holding her leash back from achieving what she apparently wants to achieve. As far as a fake father goes.
Because for all her prowess at her public facade, she would be the first person they would look at if he died. And she knows it.
Makes sense.
Okay. I just was curious.
The Noble Society puts on a good face, but they're all liars. They all know they're liars. And they all know the lies that are being told. She forgets that sometimes.
So let's talk about this. According to the notes that we found, what is the destructive force of 4 rings coming together?
Of 4 rings? 3 or more emit an energy. 4 or more worn within a distance for a time create a large explosion that's possibly still harming. 80 foot is the 60 foot is the hold on. "80 foot is the range of the rings, but the destruction is within a 60 foot of its center point of where the rings are."
And remember from the notes that you read, 80 feet is the known minimum range.
Distance, yeah.
Or known maximum range. It could be higher.
So, knowing that, we're still not safe. We got to get at least one more.
We know where 3 are. Yeah.
Right. It says if there are 4 come together, it's got a destructive blast. We know that right now there's 4 of them out there. So what happens if there's only 3 of them out there? At what point's the threshold to where we won't have an explosion?
A good question that you don't know the exact answer to yet.
The notes don't talk about, like, do the notes talk about what happens if 2 come into contact with each other?
Nope. The smallest context of rings that you guys were able to find anything about in the notes was 3 or more rings. You don't know what will happen with what if anything will happen with less rings.
Because we have a problem. Even if we were to go and somehow get the ring from Myrtle and the ring from Radcliffe, now we have the problem of what do we do with them, because we can't bring them all here or we'll blow the guild up.
No. It's only if they're worn.
I thought it was as if they were near each other.
No, if they're worn within a certain distance of each other.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
I mean, they were in the ornate box that you guys had, right?
Well, maybe it was blow
All
up proof.
5 of them.
Maybe it was explosive proof.
Then where'd that box go?
Tim, make an Arcana check. 32. As you're listening to all of this and you're taking the information in again from what she recounted to you from Gygax's notes, it occurs to you that it is possible that a ring could be activated or attuned and then still removed with the magic active, depending on the type of magic that's in play. So you're not entirely sure if the rings actually do have to be worn for it to function. And it also makes you not entirely sure that the ring that you know Kylar hasn't been activated.
Oh,
Hmm.
he should probably leave that outside of town.
I'll share that information.
At which Kylar instantly stops spinning the ring in his hands and just kind of like looks down at the ring. And he just instantly puts it away. And just remember, you guys are all going to have to recount this shit to Paul next week. So bear that in mind.
Watch the Twitch feed. That's what's gonna happen.
I'm gonna ask General if they have anything that can nullify magic or even contain it.
Well, the only thing that I could think of offhand that could contain that sort of level of magic, prevent it from functioning, would be, well, one of the mechanisms from one of the airships. That's how they function, is contained and directed magic from the floating stones. It allows a certain amount of the magic out or restrains it all to land. Those are pretty powerful as far as cancellation devices. I don't know of anything or anyone in town that could, disenchant the magic level that you're talking about, or that I'm hearing about here. But perhaps one of those devices from the airships could at least contain it, prevent it from making its way out. How you're going to go about getting to one of those devices or securing one outside of an airship, that's beyond even me. That we have no inlets to the area. It's heavily guarded, and a lot of it is secured by the private corporations of the area and the King's Guard themselves. If you could figure out a way to do it, it's an option. But pretty much every guard in the city is looking for you. Some of them aren't looking too hard from what I understand, but most of them are looking for you.
Well, if we come across an airship, we know how we can use it. Just throwing that out there.
So, what do you guys? What's the plan?
We need to get an airship.
About that time, a rather short and stout fellow kind of pops his head in the door, gets a little on the door itself. General looks past all of you to him and just kind of with a questioning look in his eyes. And the guy just gives a smile and a thumbs up and then ducks back out. Well, seems plans are underway to get your friend safe. So, hopefully she'll avoid her fate with the noose in the morning.
Good to hear.
If she's not secure back here in the guild halls by then, there's nothing that we can do. But plans are underway, and I have faith in my guildlings that they'll get her here for you safely. And if they don't, well, there'll be some hell to pay. You guys are welcome to stay here for the rest of the night, and as I said, those of you who are willing to take it can get the brand so that you may come and go from our hall as you see fit.
Me and Becky already got branded, right?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
The rest, well, I'll await some direction from you on how we can be of assistance.
Okay.
I'll go ahead and accept your brand, please.
And he kind of reaches into, he opens a drawer at his station. He pulls out the brand that Becky and Halavar, you saw. As Ren led you into the room, she handed it back to him. He pulls it back out of his drawer now, and he just motions for you to extend your arm. Unless you'd like it somewhere else.
No, I'll extend out my left arm.
Alright, and he just sticks it to your arm, and same as with the others, you get that split second of searing, unbearable pain, and then it just washes away. And you've got like just a very low impressioned brand on your arm. And if you use your detect magic, you get a sense of slight arcana from it to begin with. And if you use your detect magic, you can see that it's very, very faint, but there is a magic embedded within the brand that you almost miss that it's even there because it's like flickering. Like if you look at a normal light bulb or a normal fluorescent light through a digital camera, you can see the flicker, like the pulsing of the light, and that's about what you get when you're using your detect magic to look at the brand that's on your arm. As you look towards Halavar and Becky, being only 5 feet away from you, it is even more faint, like it is barely perceptible. So you get a feeling that that's why everybody has to put their brands so close to the wall to register, as it's just such a low-key magic. And then at that point, he looks to Celissa. How about it, Priestess?
I'm good for now, thank you.
So be it. These are only good for one at a time passage, so you can't bring other people with you. So if you leave these walls, you're going to have to find somebody from the guild to get you back in. Well, Kylar's tattoo would work, I suppose. His will function to allow the passage of others. But the brands will only get you through one at a time.
Gotcha.
And he puts it back away in his drawer.
All right, so we figured out two ring holders, right? And there's still two that we have not really found any more information on. Or, oh yeah, we haven't really actually researched them.
That is correct.
Just throwing it out there, but could Ren give us a heads up on maybe the best way to get the ring from her father? Not necessarily kill said individual, but collect said dangerous artifact?
She kind of spins back in the door, gives General a look of kind of distaste, unhappiness. Then she looks back over to you. I suppose if you could make it there, you could just storm the house and take it off of him. If you kill him in a bloody enough fashion, they may not even look at me. But, that being said, I've not seen him for the better part of 2 days. So I'm not sure where he's at. He's not been at his stables, and he's not been at the house.
I think that might be the next step. See if we can get eyes on him. He's got to be somewhere. He's going to be somewhere close because the plan is to nuke the city within a week and a half.
Fuck the city. The city wants to kill us.
The city doesn't want to kill you. People who want to kill the city want to kill you.
And in fact, the city is defending Anu.
True. The people are up in arms about Anu being in the stocks. It's accurate.
So, I guess I said that to me seems like a solid plan. If we can have a general request sent out to all your operatives, if they see Haywood, let us know. That way we can start formulating some use of where we find him at.
And as you say, if they see Haywood, you see for the first time ever, she gives you a look of slight distaste. Because now she's being associated with him and she knows what's going on. And you just used just the last name instead of his first name. And at this point she feels like she's being lumped in with a mass murderer. So it's brief. She knows that wasn't your intent, but she's still it pinged her nerves. You can tell that much. So I think that is as good of a place as any for the evening to go ahead and call that. So we didn't even need Tabletop Simulator tonight. It was all story plot and RP. So that's good.
It's good for the dice rolls.
We did some dice rolls on there.
Did some dice rolls. True enough, you did some dice rolls. So, thoughts on the evening?
I definitely liked it.
With my sword.
Becky's still bitter.
I like where it's going. Definitely interesting.
Yeah.
How the evening turned.
I agree.
Tim, Reno, any thoughts?
Yeah, no, it just feels like we're in a real tough spot. Damn, I'm in a tight spot.
We should.
I know we had some juggling back and forth there between different points of view, so that was. I know we had a little bit of waiting back and forth on some people, but
I was hoping we could go on a rescue mission for Anu. At this point, we couldn't go save him.
No, I liked it. That it's one of those situations where it makes you think a lot more than a lot of the rest of the campaign, even as far as role playing goes. You know, like the decisions. When I'm walking down and I am getting really suspicious of the guards, either they're trying to protect me or they're trying to lure me into a sense of safety. You know, like
when it makes
I
you
go
as
through
a
with it,
person,
and either things are going to be awesome or I'm as good as dead.
right?
Like,
It makes you as a person question your character's methods and way to progress.
yeah. So
Good. All right. Well, glad that everybody had a good night. We're cutting it a little bit short tonight, but I figure that's probably better than running it 30 to 45 minutes over because we hatched some plan that you guys want to take off on. And Paul's going to have enough to catch up on as it is.
Yeah, I personally vote that he watches the stream rather than wait for our recap.
Just make him watch the 3-hour playback.
Damn right.
Well, technically his character was here at the table, so
Yes.
not like we're recapping for the character.
True.
No, we're just recapping for him. So
Which is why he should have to just sit here and watch it.
that's what I'm
And
saying.
enjoy.
That's what I'm saying.
I think that if he could take the time to sit down and watch it, it would probably be more engaging for him because he would get the certain surprises the same way that you guys did, rather than just having like an oh shit this happened and then this happened kind of thing from the party. I think it might be better just for him action wise to have and to like see and hear it all unfold. So that would be something, I guess. All right. Well, any other end thoughts that you guys have for the evening? Jesse, you went to Ren Fair. How was that? Right. That was
actually went really well. Me and Angel both went. Didn't just go. I actually run the main kitchen of the entire thing. So we sell food there. And it went very well. I heard several times that the turkey legs that I had cooked all night long and were selling were the best anyone has ever had in their life. So that makes me feel good about the fact that I was up all night doing that.
Right.
No, we built a structure out there. 2 towers with a walk bridge between the two of them, and that's right in front of a giant fight ring. So I don't know if you remember Kansas City, the Barbarian Blades. You remember those guys?
I think so. Yeah.
Basically, they have like a ring, and you go in there and fight with foam swords, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we basically use that same model over there. So people will come in, they'll pay us to either buy a sword and fight definitely and just tap to come back alive, or they can rent one for $1. And so that's what they do over there. And then I sell food out of the kitchen. So
And we run
it
a
was a
fight
good,
ring in the main
Yeah.
arena too.
and then we do shows in the main arena too. So yeah, but it was a
Cool.
good time. Exhausting. I've been like in absolute hibernation mode trying to recover because I didn't sleep for 3 days straight. So up all night cooking and whatnot. But I know it was a good time, very successful. We had a lot of people from our game from the kingdom travel down to support us.
Awesome.
It was good.
Nice.
Yeah,
Glad that went
so-
well for you. And then, Reno, are you still doing the pool?
Mm-hmm. I've been sucking. I
Oh, no.
haven't won a match in like a month.
Oh,
Oh, no.
no.
Twice a week. So yeah,
Terrible.
Sucks.
it's
Rough.
all right. It's you go up in skill level, which it makes it a little bit more difficult to win. And there's more people that are like skill 4, and I think I got bumped up to 6 when I'm maybe a 5. So it just makes it
More
going against a
challenging.
lower skill level is extremely challenging because of the point difference that's required. But then the other thing I've been working on, like aim and things like that, which kind of sets your game back a little ways. When you kind of try to change one of the fundamentals of how you do something.
Right.
So I think that's another part of it. But I've been getting more pleased with my performance in the last couple weeks, so that was good. So it was like a big step back, and then now I'm starting to inch back up.
Nice.
Yeah.
Ben, you been doing anything of note that you want to talk about? I'm not sure what you've been up to lately.
There's a mac and cheese festival tomorrow, which I'm planning on going to.
Well, all right. That sounds awesome. Honestly, it does. Mac and cheese festival would be fucking dope.
Yeah, I'm right.
So,
Hell yeah.
There's gonna be beer too, so I haven't had beer in over a month.
nice.
So I'm excited for that.
Nice.
Cool. Well, I'm glad. It sounds like you guys had fun tonight. I hope that you did anyway.
Yeah.
I hope that our audience had fun as well. I think we had one of the larger audiences that we've had for a while. So I hope that you guys out there in the Ironwood Tavern have enjoyed the escapades for the evening and picking up on some of this intrigue that's starting to build within the campaign as we draw nearer to the end. Currently, we're going to go and follow that host command that I threw out. And we're going to go show some love to Saving Throw Show. They're doing a 24-hour RPG marathon for the kids for Extra Life. So any support that gets shown over there gets donated directly to Extra Life to help out kids in hospitals. Really great cause. And even just showing up, hanging them out, boosting their numbers, and showing them some love in their chat would be great. If you don't mind too terribly, do throw out that command, the Ironwood Tavern raid, just to let them know where you're coming from. We're going to head on over there now. Thank you, everybody, for coming by. Where's my baby Groot so he can say goodnight? There he goes. Baby Groot. He's dancing for you. 3D printed baby Groot. All right, guys. Everybody say goodnight.
Good night.
All right.
Bye, guys. Love you.